You're sitting in a crowded room, and suddenly, eyes fill with water. A heavy lump forms in your throat. Your vision blurs, and droplets spill down your face. Every other mammal on Earth produces tears to lubricate their eyes. A dog gets dust in its eye, it tears up. A horse gets an infection, but humans are the only creatures on the entire planet that weep tears of pure emotion. No chimpanzee cries because it's heartbroken. No lion sheds a tear over a lost cub. So why did evolution build a mechanism inside us that leaks salt water from our eyes when life gets painful? For a long time, researchers treated emotional crying as a bizarre evolutionary glitch. Some argued it was just a physical side effect of deep breathing during distress. It was a way for the body to flush out excess stress hormones. But when evolutionary biologists looked closer, a much stranger story began to emerge. Because leaking water from your eyes during a moment of extreme danger makes absolutely no sense for basic survival. Tears blur your sight when you need clear vision the most. Sobbing disrupts your breathing pattern. And shedding tears signals to everyone around you that you are helpless, overwhelmed, and vulnerable. If natural selection is relentless about efficiency, why would it keep a trait that actively weakens you in a crisis? The answer has everything to do with how early humans survived a brutal world. To understand why we cry, you have to look at what human babies do when they need help. A human infant comes into the world entirely helpless. When a baby is hungry, cold, or in pain, it emits an acoustic signal, a loud, piercing cry. In the wild, that auditory cry works instantly. It alerts the mother. But it also does something else. It alerts every predator within a half-mile radius. For a vulnerable group of early hominins living on open savannas, making loud distress noises as you got older was a massive liability. If an adult hunter was injured or distressed, shouting for help meant announcing your location to big cats. Evolution needed a signal that could communicate deep distress across a short distance without making a sound. And that's where emotional tears came in. Tears act as a silent, unmistakable flag on your face. A tear on a cheek instantly changes how another human perceives you. Psychologists tested this by showing people photographs of faces covered in emotional tears. Then, using digital tools, they removed the tears from the exact same faces without altering any other facial expression. When viewers looked at the tearless faces, they saw confusion, anger, or sadness. But when the tears were added back, every viewer instantly recognized a request for help. Tears soften the perceived aggression of a face. They signal, I am not a threat. I am overwhelmed, and I need support. It's a visual distress signal meant exclusively for those closest to you. And it goes even deeper into the chemical composition of the tears themselves. Basal tears, the ones keeping your eyes moist right now, are mostly water and salt. Reflex tears, the ones triggered when you chop an onion, are designed to flush out irritants. But emotional tears are chemically unique. When neuroscientists analyzed emotional tears, they found significantly higher levels of stress hormones, including adrenocorticotropic hormone and prolactin. They also discovered elevated levels of leucine and enkephalin, a natural endorphin that acts as a subtle painkiller. Your body is literally taking physical pain chemicals and pumping them out through your eyes. It's an internal pressure relief valve. When you hold back tears, your sympathetic nervous system stays locked in fight or flight mode. Your heart rate stays elevated, and your muscles remain tense. The moment tears flow, your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. Breathing slows down. Heart rate drops. Crying physically forces your nervous system to calm itself down. That's why you often feel a profound sense of relief right after a heavy cry. Your brain has chemically signaled to your body that the acute danger is past. But the real magic of crying isn't just what happens inside your own body. It's what happens inside the brain of the person watching you. Human beings possess specialized cells called mirror neurons. When you see someone scrape their knee, your mirror neurons fire as if your own knee took the hit. When you see a person shed tears, your brain mirror simulates their emotional pain. Seeing tears triggers a rush of oxytocin in the observer, the hormone responsible for empathy and social bonding. It lowers defensive barriers and prompts prosocial behavior. In simple terms, crying forces the people around you to care. Throughout human history, tribes that cooperated closely outlasted tribes that lived in isolation. Groups that could signal vulnerability without verbal noise formed tighter bonds. They developed trust faster. They protected their vulnerable members more effectively. Tears weren't a sign of weakness. They were a social glue that kept early communities from falling apart under stress. Think about the moments in your own life when you've shed emotional tears. It's rarely just about physical pain. We cry at weddings. We cry at funerals. We cry when we win an impossible victory, or when a long period of intense stress finally ends. We even cry when we see acts of overwhelming kindness. Every single one of these moments involves an emotional overload that words cannot capture. When your conscious brain runs out of vocabulary to process what you are feeling, your nervous system takes over. It produces a physical drop of liquid that communicates everything instantly to anyone watching. It says, "This moment matters more than I can process alone." So the next time you feel tears welling up in your eyes, don't force them back out of shame. You aren't glitching. You aren't being overly dramatic. You are using a 100,000-year-old biological technology designed specifically to keep humans connected. It's the physical proof that we were never meant to carry the weight of this world entirely by ourselves. Comment below, when was the last time a moment took you completely by surprise and made you tear up? I genuinely want to know.